Hi ladies, it's Tia. I'm back from Colombia and Ecuador where I've spent the past 3 weeks swimming with sharks and baby sea lions and touring the islands called the Galapagos Islands, where there's lots of wildlife that you'll never see anywhere else in the world. And they don't have a flight response. They haven't learned to be afraid of humans, so they kind of feel like you're just another animal, and you can be right next to them and birds will come right by you and nothing runs away from you. It's very, very fascinating and heartwarming to be in nature and really feel like you are a part of nature and not something that's scary that everything flies away from. So I've swam with sharks, which was kind of a little bit scary for me. I have spent a lot of time in the water, but there was a lot of sharks. It was kind of scary. So I pushed myself in ways that maybe I wouldn't have if I weren't there doing that thing. I would never choose to go swim with sharks, but they were there and I was there. So it happened. And the reason that I'm making this video, I want to touch base with you, but I had a realization while I was there. The countries of Ecuador and Colombia and lots of other developing nations that I've been to are absolutely brimming with entrepreneurs, and they're not afraid to make the ask. They're not afraid to come up to you with what it is that they made and offer it to you and ask you to buy it. And maybe you say no, and they'll ask again, and it doesn't faze them. And they're happy about interacting with you. And maybe you're not there right now. Maybe if you are an entrepreneur or an artist or someone that has to make a living from what it is that they do, maybe you're over that hump of, not being able to make the ask. But at some point in all of our lives and our careers, it's been very difficult to take that thing that you make or that you have and ask somebody, will you hire me? Will you buy this piece of art? Will you, take this article, publish this article? Will you hire me as your coach? Will you take this program? And to be told no lots of times, and to be okay with that, to not have that reflect on you or the quality of your work, but just to know that it's not right for that person and move on to the next person. And keep asking, and don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid of those no's, because through that experience you connect with lots of great people and you'll get some yeses, which will start to create abundance in your life. But asking is sometimes hard, and I get that. And if you're not an entrepreneur and you're not selling something that you've made or that you created, it's still really important to get clear and make the ask to the universe of what it is that you want. What is it that you really want? And don't be afraid to ask for it. And maybe you get no's back in the way that your life is turning out. But if it's something that you really want, then keep coming back to it and keep asking and keep finding different ways to get it, if that's something that you know is going to make you happy. So if you are an entrepreneur, this message is super important to you though. Making the ask is really important, and to just change your attitude about asking and to not take the no's personally. And I saw it over and over and over again. And one guy in particular, when I had this realization, we actually invited him over to our table and bought him a juice and just started to talk to him about his life, because I had purchased one of these little carvings that he made. Actually, it's right here. I'll show it to you. It's this beautiful bird. I don't know if you can see it. It's also a flute. You can play it. It's really pretty. Anyways, so he and his dad and 2 of his kids are carvers. And they make these little sculptures. And I bought one because he asked. And I said yes. And I'm sure he got lots of no's that day. But anyway, so he came over to our table and started to talk to us about his life, and I saw in his bag he probably had maybe 7 little things that he'd made, but no more. And I thought, gosh, if I had to take his satchel and go around the city and sell those things for him today, could I do it? Just ask, walk up and ask random strangers. And I realized it would be a lot easier for me to ask random strangers to buy his things than it would for me to do it with my own. And so yeah, that really struck me. I was like, yes, That makes it a little harder. It's like, okay, yeah, I can totally sell this guy's bag of stuff, but if I had to go up and ask a bunch of random strangers if they take my coaching program, that'd be a little harder. So it is hard, and I hear that, but it's absolutely essential, and your attitude about it is essential too. So moving on from that, you guys can follow me on Instagram if you would like to check out what I've been up to for the past 3 weeks and see some of these beautiful animals and beautiful places. I'm Life Coach Kelly, all one word, at Instagram, and you can check me out there. I would love to follow you as well, so just touch base and say hi, leave a message and say hey, and I'd love to connect with you there. I take a lot of photographs and I post them there, so it's kind of another way to stay in touch. Okay, so another thing I'd like to bring up during this video while you're all here watching is that I'm going to do another speaker summit. So a few years ago, year and a half ago, I did a Women Changing the World Speaker Summit, which was an interview series of a bunch of women all over the world who are changing the world with what it is that they do. And we did interviews and sent them out to everyone to watch. And it was really a beautiful event, and it took a lot of work, and I'm going to bust into another one here. So actually, before I really get started, I would love some feedback from you. I would love to know what it is that you'd like to hear about. And there's my dog. I don't know what he wants to hear about. But if you guys can tell me, I would love to, cover these topics or this topic in your interview series. That would be awesome information for me from you. So thank you so much if you would take the time and just let me know what it is you'd like to hear more about. Okay, that's it. I am going to get back to the 1,000,001 things that I have to do since I've been gone for 3 weeks. And I'd love to hear from you. Just shoot me an email and say hi. Okay, bye.